I do want to point out that the first thing down below is actually a picture down here of somebody with a. This is my tweet. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So on his actual tweet itself, the first thing that you see here is a wooden leg here, a Chinese person with a wooden leg. Where are?
Yeah.
Yes, right here.
Hopefully, someone did an AI thing with it.
Yeah. which I love. I love that. So. All right, let's go and continue here with my tweet. We have to just listen to it just a little bit more here real quick.
Born killers, where are, and you cannot say something when you have 20 people from Netflix using computers, whatever, to tell you what worked before, and you have to follow that rules. If you don't follow the rules, and have like a Chinese camera girl, whatever, with a wooden leg, if you don't fulfill that rule, you don't make a movie. That all has to change. The industry has to change. And I think Citizen Vigilante is kind of a movie what provides this, and they ignored Donald Trump. That's what I meant with Donald Trump. The only reason Donald Trump got elected was exactly that what happens right now. Like, nobody wanted him to get elected from that mainstream media. And he didn't get credit for anything. That's happened till today. He didn't get credit for anything. And they tried to make him unimportant. But that's what happened to Citizen Vigilante now. That's what happened to Donald Trump. That is why Donald Trump got elected twice. Because the people, and not the gatekeepers and the people who want to decide what we like, what we have to, where we have this kind of like, you watch what we show you. And if you don't like it, then we show you more of it till you like it. That's Hollywood. Look at Supergirl. All these movies are all like artificial bullshit. And the audience hates them. They're spending $200 billion for all kinds of crap. Then they're putting $200 million in advertising because they're recognizing nobody wants to see this. But with enough money of advertising, then you buy reviews and you make big ads in newspapers, so the newspaper gives you a good review, and then it looks like somebody made a masterpiece making Superman again. But the audience knows that all this stuff is crap. They know it. And here we have something where they desperately say, that's bad filmmaking. No, it's not. The film is nitty gritty, like the real movies of the 80s, 90s, where we grew up with, where we felt that's a movie. Dirty Harry, Death Wish, that's a movie. That's the point. Thank you.
I love it. It just wraps it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So he said a lot there. And Phoenix, I know you are, at one time in your life, you were close to this system here, and you hear what he has to say about the Hollywood system, Netflix, the algorithm. The floor is yours, because this is why I wanted to hear what you had to say about this.
Yeah, this is tricky because it's like, yep, he said it, right? Like it's everything he's saying is perfectly spot on, and I think most people would probably agree with him. Unfortunately, this gets into such a big conversation that I want to try to avoid. But, we haven't had a quote unquote important, I don't mean this potentially, we just haven't had an important film in a long time, right? We get a lot of corporate films, which are great. They're popcorn films. You get a lot of those. But we haven't had anything that actually challenges society and culture and the system the way that many of the films that he had mentioned had. We look back at those movies maybe fondly now, but at the time of their releases, like, A Taxi Driver, for instance, was a cultural shock to the system when that came out, and which is why it had such profound weight to film and the genre itself. Now, unfortunately, he has a very, very uphill battle against him because so many things have changed. No one wants to make that thing because you're not going to get anyone to produce that thing. No one's going to give you money because they're all in bed with one side of the agenda, and no one's going to touch it. On top of that, now as far as movie-going experience, Now, because of things like Netflix and stuff like that, your money that you're even going to get to take a risk is now next to nothing. Where they used to make independent films and used to take risks because maybe an audience will find it. Now with streaming and stuff like that, that's kind of done away with it. Like, that's why you don't see even popcorn films like romantic comedies have kind of ceased to be, and comedies ceased to be because it makes more sense to put them on streaming. So anyway, my point is everything he said is right. I don't even know how you can make change with this, though, because of the entire uphill battle. No one's giving you money. You got streaming services to boot. The only thing I would say, oddly enough, coming off the Angry Joe thing, which is kind of funny, when you see films like this that are trying to make a statement and to maybe try and turn things around, consider supporting those films as best as you can. Give an honest review. Say, I saw it, wasn't a big fan of it, yada, yada, yada. But consider trying to support that or look towards people that are trying. Maybe this is a better idea. Look towards making something a little risque and trying to support that film in the process. If there's a GoFundMe or whatever the hell it is, do things like that. But like I said, Craig, he said it perfectly. There's not much I can add. I can just say, boy, he has an uphill battle. And actually, big props to him. And I had said this to him when he was here. Major props to you for taking on this system, because I know just how hard that is and what this will mean for him and anyone included in that film. That's talk about bravery, artistic bravery. That actually is pretty brave.
I would like to see that from an American. It's sad that we have to rely on a person who lives in Germany, I think. But like to say the obvious, like I'm sick of big corpos dictating what we can and can't enjoy. I'm happy to hear him saying like all this wonderful stuff. Maybe it'll embolden other people. But to your point though, Phoenix, the reason Angry Joe doesn't work is because he's being disingenuous. He's shilling an agenda, whereas Uwe Boll, or however you pronounce his name, sorry, is speaking from the heart. He's being genuine. He's saying, hey, we had something amazing, we could have it again. And I completely agree with him.
Yeah, I think another aspect of it is the control he's talking about, or the attempt of control to get people funneled into a certain thing or to prevent certain types of movies being made, is the changes that they made to the Academy years ago. It wasn't that long ago, but they changed all the rules to where you had to hire this type of person. And he hit the nail on the head in the video. This type of person of this ethnicity, make sure you've got a gay person, make sure you've got a non-binary person. And it's dumb, because aren't we out here supposed to make art? It doesn't matter who's making it or what nationality they are or what ethnicity or what sexual orientation they are. It's creativity. And if the person is creative enough or is good at the job that they're there to do, it shouldn't matter. We haven't had a solid movie come out that just had audience upon audiences all in awe or shocked, like Phoenix said. It's all trash. That's why. Why do you think they're remaking all these movies or coming out with all these sequels 20 plus years later with this nostalgia bait, trying to get us back into the movie theater and to spark these wonderful memories of movies? That's not what we want. We want creative, original ideas that spark conversations, that spark creativity and inspire younger writers that want to go into the movie business or write their own scripts or direct their own movies to continue that. But we're continuing down this road of just garbage and feeding it to young audiences, and they're not getting inspired. They're just turning brain dead. It's just TikTok brain and long form content.
I think the thing when it comes to what Uwe is saying here is that I've poked fun at Uwe Boll for 20 years, right? Like, everybody knows that his films aren't exactly masterpieces, right? And you may not like him as a person. You may think that his films suck, but tell me where he's wrong in that statement. Like this person over here, I posted that over on X. It says, this guy said, he's not wrong. It's just that he lacks effing talent to pull it off. And I think that's the thing, right? He said he's been watching his movies for 20 years. And The Name of the King is effing comedy gold, but he didn't intend it to be that way. I just hope there's better talent making the same movie. You can think his movies are trash. That's fine, right? I think we all agree that his movies they're not Clockwork Orange, right? They're not Shawshank Redemption. What he's saying here should not dilute or his work should not dilute his words here and his actions. Because Phoenix, I'm with you. It takes balls. It takes balls to do this and to fight the system and to say, hey, and ultimately to release a movie that cost you $9 million for free over on X. You know, and these are self-funded movies. He's the one who's producing these things. He's the one who's funding these things. So, you know, talk about going an uphill battle right here. I mean, another comment that was pretty funny over here was from Kyle over on X. He says, "How did I end up on the same guy who butchered House of the Dead and Alone in the Dark and Blood Rain? How did the man I mocked relentlessly in the 2000s become my ally? What is this timeline over here?" And yeah, I mean, as somebody who, like I said, I have a long history with him. Do I think he's the most talented guy in the world? No, but dude, he has earned my respect just by being so hardcore into what he's doing. I don't think he, you know, it is to be admired for sure. And he is fighting a system with his art, with his work, with his money, you know? So good for him. Good for him. Hit that subscribe button right here and watch another video right here.